I have a bag. So, you may have seen my video from last month where I covered the Combat Patrol magazine, and this is the first issue of it. Of course, this is the back side of it. I don't want to show off my, I don't want to dox myself, so we have to open this up, which I might grab my utility knife for, but maybe we'll just rip it open. There we go. So, we're going to see the contents, and we're going to flip through the magazines. This is the first 4 issues, or the first 2 issues, rather, because of the way it works. So, let's get into it. First up, we have this, which is issue 2. We'll cover that later. And here we have issue 1. So, of course, this one includes the Tyranid Prime with wings, as well as the Terminator Captain from Leviathan and the starter sets, by extension. Let me quickly grab my utility knife just so I can cut this up. Had it on my main desk, not my painting desk. There we go, nice and simple. So, there we go with this, and put that there. Alrighty, let's get this out of here. So obviously, these guys are pretty common models, and going to be super common. So if you ever need to find cheap Warhammer models, these guys will be your go-to. They'll be all over eBay. I do already have these, as I got Leviathan. But I might keep these. Well, I am going to keep them. And I'm going to try and maybe find a way to convert this guy, the Captain, and I don't know what I'll do with the Tyranid Prime. Maybe I'll use them as basing material. Or maybe I'll make a diorama out of them or something. I don't know. I've never made a diorama, and I've always wanted to try. But, of course, 2 very good models, in my opinion. Very solid. Then you get a handful of dice. Let's see. Roll it. What did you get started? Oh, piece of a ring of paint. How'd that end up there? Not too bad, I'll say. That was a 3, actually. Or a 2, I don't know. Whatever. Standard GW beginner dice. I'm sure a lot of us have quite a few of these from the various editions. They roll fine. They're nice and small. They feel of good quality. And they're easy to read, which is very nice. 2 bases for the characters. I'm just going to throw these in my basing drawer right here. And then we have Combat Patrol 01. So this, I believe, is mainly going to be about building. It's pretty standard stuff. They have, bead. We've got a bit of reading. They've got some collecting stuff going on, and let's get through it. So this is pretty standard stuff. I think this is important stuff to put in these. Of course, it's telling you how to assemble things and to keep your fingers away, how the instructions work. Now, obviously, I have already built these guys. They feature the mold line remover, which is I don't even know if they still sell those, but I think it might still be in the hobby painting set that they sell. And then, using glue, because not everything in here is a push fit. Of course, this guy is, though. Though I would recommend snipping the pieces off and gluing him together anyways, with something like Tamiya Extra Thin. This bottle's almost empty, but any cement like that. Hobby Lobby sells a brand called Mr. Hobby that does it pretty good. Well, that's not good. Those pages got stuck together. Then we just have the Tyranid Prime instructions. Not too interesting for us, of course, but very important. Let me put on a bit of an announcer. I don't even know if I have an announcer voice, but the galaxy burns as colossal battleships duel in the heavens above. Armies on countless worlds battle for resources, glory, or simply for survival. Hope, enlightenment, and progress have been scoured away by the flames of endless conflict. All that remains is hatred, rage, and war on unimaginable scale. It is the 41st millennium and humanity stands on the brink of annihilation. For thousands of years, the Imperium of Man has claimed supremacy over the galaxy, but is beset on all sides by threats. On the fringes of the Imperium, ancient and arrogant alien empires battle to reclaim their long-lost dominions and eradicating entire planets with incomprehensible technologies within the Imperium's heart. Darkness takes root as cults and mutant sects tempt the masses with promises of freedom and power. Meanwhile, beyond reality itself, nightmarish demons and long-damned traitors prepare to invade. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. I mean, yeah, that puts it to the law pretty much. That's exactly what 40k is. Wondering what's going on. Must have gotten a bit of a bunt. Oh, I guess I flattened that the wrong way. Here we have the main factions, the Imperium. Brutal and warlike, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, dedicated to the worship of the God Emperor. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Then you've got your Chaos Marines, you've got a couple Soul Grinders. Up here, of course, we have some Guardsmen, some Chimera, Sentinel, heavy weapons teams. Chaos, you've got, of course, some Legionaries, a Warpsmith, Vashtor over there, the minor god of Chaos, a couple of Soul Grinders, a couple Forge Fiends. Then you have the Xenos. Of course, they're represented by the Orcs, the best Xenos. I can't deny that. Yeah. And then you've got a whole spread page for the Space Marines because, I mean, as much as people joke about it, Space Marines are popular. They are the most popular faction for a reason. They're cool. And, hey, Tyranids, why not? And then you have Combat Squads, which it just seems to be... Ah, there we go. Got those pages to disconnect. Yeah. This is an army spread that we've seen before. This seems interesting. You've got, a couple of Incursors and then a few Assault Intercessors. I guess that's supposed to sort of represent Kill Team. And then you've got your Tyranids, big page spread. You got a, what's it called? Norn Emissary there. And then you've got, just a pretty standard spread here. Tyranids always look good. Huh, Space Marine Captains. Oh, this is a little name generator, huh? D6 for a naming table. Okay, you know what? Maybe we'll make this... Maybe we'll do... I mean, doing a painting video would be a bit of an undertaking for this. But maybe we could do that for, like, tomorrow's video or something. But let's see. So, Space Marine Captains lead from the front. Each is a veteran of decades or centuries. Having proven their skill, clad in 9 impenetrable Terminator armor, the best kind of armor, Space Marine Captain commands his troops with skill, even as he dives into brutal melee with the deadliest foes. So, you have a bit of a naming table going on here. Do I have a pen? Let me see, actually, I think I have a pen right here. Thank you, Artis Opus. It's not a sponsored spot, but this came with my, paintbrushes, my quality paintbrushes. So, naming your units. Yeah, I mean, I love naming my units. It's one of my favorite things to do. Let's roll it, and we'll see what this guy's name is. 2, so Lucian. All right, almost Lucius. So this captain's a veteran of the Tyrannic Wars and seeks personal revenge on the Tyranids. Totally valid. He is Ultramarine right there. Lucian. All right. Name your units. So the unit's name would be Captain Lucian. I have to warn you. I have severe dysgraphia, so this may be illegible. Captain Lucian. Our good old friend Captain Lucian of, I suppose, the Ultramarines. But I guess I would probably paint it. No, I mean, I haven't painted an Ultramarines in a while. And I guess we'll have to fill that in later. Next up, Winged Tyranid Prime. Oh, here's his data sheet, actually. This is for the Combat Patrol, of course. But, I mean, you can reroll charges. Very handy, of course. You'll want this guy with your Terminators. He moves 5 inches, so he's slow, but he's super tough. He's toughness 5. With a 2+ save, 4+ invuln, 6 wounds, leadership 6+, and OC1. Fairly standard for a Space Marine character in Terminator armor, but that's not a bad thing. His relic weapon does have damage 2, which makes it very good against enemy elites. AP2 helps there as well, and the Stormbolter is nice for clearing out hordes of light infantry. He can lead Terminators, which is, of course, one of your main units in that Combat Patrol, and since he can reroll charges, they'll get to melee a lot faster, which is useful because they're very devastating in melee. You can see, I suppose I wrote too hard because it bled through here, but who cares? Alright, let's name this fella. 5. So this is Shifting Shadow. Alrighty, pal. Shifting Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, so he's just extra toxic. You know what? Yeah, maybe I'll make this the video for tomorrow. I'll paint both these guys. Maybe a bit of just easy speed painting. Yeah, I'll make a video out of it. And then the data sheet. Again, This guy does have fly, so he can move through stuff and move over enemies without issue. He's 12-inch move, which is super, super fast. Toughness 5, which makes him resilient to small arms. Only a 4+ save means he's very vulnerable to high AP. 6 wounds, though, is nice. Leadership 7 is okay, but he has Synapse, which means in full-scale 40k, you'll roll 3d6 for your Battle Shock tests, and OC1. His Prime Talons are a good amount of attacks, but their AP 1 means they'll struggle against things like Terminators. And then if he is destroyed by a melee attack and hasn't fought, on a 4+, you do not remove it from play, and destroying model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. It is then removed from play. And then here we have Welcome to Warhammer 40k. Yeah, game like no other. Tell me about it. I believe this is just going to... Yeah, this gives us a little bit of a demo going on here. Don't like doing that, but I guess it's supposed to be more like this, but those are just for the binder rings anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I guess I can break this down for those who are just stumbling upon this. A single model will be referred to as a model, but a group of models will be referred to as a unit of a certain amount of models. Dice rolls, they do, of course, use d6, as we see here, for everything. But they do have slightly modified d6s, like d3, which means you would roll a d6, and that would be considered 2, because you simply have the result rounding up. To the nearest number, I should say. And then you have here destroyed models. Yep, when a model takes its wound count, so when this Tyranid takes 6 wounds, he would be destroyed. And then removed from the game, of course. And then here we have our first mission. You know what? Actually, I have these 2 models built, not the ones we just got, but I have these 2 built from Leviathan. Let me quickly grab them. Hold on. Alrighty, I had to do some emergency model repairs on our Tyranid Prime, but he is recovering, because I realized he had actually lost a wing, which was definitely a shock to me. Again, I'm a bad hobbyist. I have not painted these guys after how many years has it been since Leviathan came out? Again, I might do a big painting video where I finish up all my Marines, but I kind of realized I hate the way my Marines look after I painted this guy. Well, not the way they look, but the way I was painting them before. So I'll need to do something different. Maybe that we can explore that in the next painting video. But this is pretty simple. So deploy this battle, you place your battle mat on a flat surface. We're just going to use this table. Next, place your models in the center of the board, and then just then roll your dice. Yeah, and you just roll off until someone dies, which shouldn't take too long. Let's get to it. Let me move this out of the way for now. Yes, I did subscribe to Premium, so we'll have to cover this in a moment as well, after we do this. I know this isn't really important, but wow, this is actually... Okay, well, I'd have to cover this anyways. This is a pretty sizable battle mat. It covers more than my desk, so we're actually not going to use it. It is a bit creased, but not in a way that wouldn't be easy to fix, and it is, in fact... Oh, hold on. It is, in fact, double-sided. Wow, this is actually pretty handy. When I first started, we just played on my dining room table with boxes, but having something like this is generally handy. So it has 2 sides. You got a little bit of alien flora going on, or you have your manufactorum set up. So let's have these 2 duke it out. As you can see, this guy's a 3D printed helmet, and this guy's wing is still drying with some super glue that I had to use, even though I'd recommend using plastic. For extremely dire situations, I break out the super, because it is faster and better for smaller connection points. So, of course, let's start off. Who gets to fight first? On a 1 to 3, we'll do the Tyranid. On a 4 to 6, we'll do the Captain. So the Tyranid goes first. Alrighty, come here, dice. So, when the Tyranid Prime, he has 6 attacks that hit on doses. Let's do it. 1, a 2. Whoops. So, that's 1 miss. That's 1 hit. 1 hit. 1 hit. 1 miss, and 1 hit. So he hit 4 times, because he hits on 2s. Every one of these is 2 or greater. These ones missed. And then since this weapon is strength 6 versus the captain's toughness 5, we wound him on 3s. Which would mean we only wound once, and this is only AP 1, so the captain saves on a 3+, and he saves it. It's time for the captain to fight back, now that the Tyranid has done 0 damage. So, 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. We're going to speed roll these. Which is when you roll all the same attacks for a weapon at once. We're just going to count that as a 1. And that's 5 hits. This is strength 5, so we're only wounding on 4s. But we got 2 through, and at AP2, the Tyrannid's only saving on 6s. Tyrannid does not save it, which drops him down to 2 wounds. Do I have another dice? Hold on. I know I do. But is it close at hand? Yes, there it is. We got it. My sparkly dice that I hate, that betray me. If you see these dice, never buy them. For frame of reference, last time I used them, I had 13 attacks hitting on 3s, and I hit 3 of them. Okay, so this guy is now down to 2 wounds, because 2 attacks went through that did 2 damage. Back to the Tyrannid, he gets to fight again with his attacks. Again, same deal, 6 attacks hitting on 2s, only 1 misses. We are wounding on 3s, which is definitely nice. That's a lot better, we wound everything. And at AP1, this Terminator is saving on 3s, because a 2+ save with AP1 goes to a 3+. So he saves 4 out of 5 and drops down to 6 wounds. Captain gets to fight back. Let's grab another dice. Brings this guy down to 4 wounds. Captain gets to fight back yet again. Ugh. So, again, he's hitting on 2s, so this one gets removed. These all hit, and at strength 5, we're wounding on 4s. Only 1 wound, but the Nid's saving this on a 6, and he doesn't, which does destroy him. With a mighty cleave, our Terminator Captain, Lucian, defeats the Tyrannid Prime. Get out of here. Yeah, we win. Back over there. Moving over here, back to our little magazine. We have this. Here we go. So, they basically break down what I did, but just into paper. Personally, I like my method more. The battle ends for now. Well, let's read the Space Marine victory since he won. With a brutal blow, the captain slices the winged Tyrannid Prime in 2. He voxes his position to his troops, checks his ammo, and prepares to fight. He has fought Tyrannids before and knows this victory is only temporary. The beast he has fought is only an appendage of the wider hive mind. However, he is ready, and will kill as many Tyrannids as it takes to secure victory. Now, if we look here, we can see this is all the stuff we're going to be getting, plus some extras from the premium. Where'd that paper go? Oh no, I already misplaced it. I'll find it later when we cover that. So, Combat Patrol. Oh, you have little wound markers you can cut out. That's handy, but I'd recommend just using dice instead. But yeah, we'll be getting all this. We're going to be getting all of it and painting all of it, mostly on camera. At least that's my plan. Of course, sometimes I may be out of the country or something, so that may not be possible. But that wraps up number 1. So let's get on to issue dose. Alrighty, move aside. I will get a binder for these later, because I want to keep them nice. But Combat Patrol issue dose. Cut through this in a beautiful way. This only cost, what was it? It was $7 for issues 1 and 2, so, I mean, this is definitely good value, as you get a whole unit of Von Ryans, which normally go for, if I'm not mistaken, $45. And I do like Von Ryan's Leapers, so I'm glad to get more of them. Let me quickly find that piece of paper I'm looking for. So before we get into edition 2 proper, I wanted to cover the premium subscription, which I did subscribe to, so we'll also be getting all of these units. All the units I really like. In fact, this is my favorite Votan unit. This is one of my favorite models, so is this. Yeah, I just love all these models, so it made sense for me. This is sort of my Paperworks thing, so yes, we will be getting these, basically I'll be getting all of these, with my progressive orders. Very excited to get this guy, I really like that model, the Primaris Champion. And then if we flip this out, man, this is extensive. So it looks like this, maybe we'll paint it off as these, Silver Templars. I believe this is a sort of new chapter, if you will, for Hatchet Partworks. Also, you get a better view of all the stuff we'll be getting right there. Isn't that an impressive collection, huh? Let's read through these real quick. So, Space Marines. Hammer through the foe with the genetically enhanced might of the Adeptus Astartes. Makes perfect sense. Tyrannids, devour your foes and unleash alien horrors with the seemingly endless Tyrannid swarms. Again, makes sense. Leagues of Votann. Stake a claim on the galaxy and defend it using advanced tech with the Leagues of Votann. Again, makes sense, and I like the Votann. Eldari, or I'm just going to call him Eldar, will wield powerful psychic abilities and esoteric technology with the graceful and arrogant Eldar. Of course, I do have a small collection of Eldar that's being massively expanded now. Astra Militarum, take aim with heavy artillery and ranks of indomitable infantry with the bold Astra Militarum, the army I'm currently finishing. Gene Stealer Colts, strike from where your enemy least expects it with the Insurrectionists of the Gene Stealer Colts. Very cool models, and I'll use them probably mainly for Necromunda. They're right there, of course. And Orcs, smash your foes to scrap and have a great laugh doing it with the brutal and cunning Orcs, my personal favorite faction. Chaos Space Marines, harness the terrifying power of the Dark Gods with the traitorous Chaos Space Marines, another of my favorites, especially the Alpha Legion. And the World Eaters, kill, maim, and burn your way across the galaxy with the Berserker Warriors of the World Eaters. So, this is a great collection, obviously. Very, very cool. If we look here, we actually do get some extra units with each combat patrol. So up here, you get the Wraith Guard, which is very nice. Here, you get a unit of Einhir Champions, the Terminator equivalent. You get a squad of heavy weapons team with the Guard. You get a Boomdaka Snaz Wagon with the Orcs, as you see there. The Gene Stealers get a unit of Jackals and their associated quad. Chaos Space Marines get Chaos Terminators. The World Eaters get a Forge Fiend. The Tyranids get the Parasite of Mortrex. And Space Marines get the Chaplain on Bike. So you get the full trifecta of characters. Very good, and these all will be getting unique data sheets for Combat Patrol, if I'm not mistaken. I might be, but I don't think I am. So, you know, we're going to paint the Space Marines here as Silver Templars. I'm going to do that after this. Yeah, let's see. I believe there is, they made this into a poster on the back of some variety. Maybe not. Did they lie to me? Oh, no. It's huge, though. Oh, my. Oh, yeah, this won't be able to fit on my camera. But it's a good piece of artwork, for sure. It's got a lot of Terminators over here. You can see that right there. You got a couple Termies. Yeah, huge poster. Unfortunately creased, but such is the way of things, I suppose. Anyways, back to issue 2. We have the Von Ryan's Leapers. Von Ryan's Leapers, of course, Vanguard Infiltrator type unit. They're right here. Nice and good melee for dealing with Space Marines. I'm going to put these bases in yonder basing shell drawer and put this to the side with the others. Let's look through here. So, how to build. Pretty much the same thing as we saw last time. Nice to see that's not sticking this time. So you build them, and then we get into how to paint, which is very important. Base coats, shades, and highlights. I mean, that is the trifecta. And I think a nice thing about this is it gives you a lot of models to paint, and having that variety, you'll find it much harder to get burnt out, at least in my opinion. So that's always a very nice touch. And I mean, this is a very simplified way of looking at it, but I mean, in essence, yes, that is how you paint your Space Marines. So they do have painting guides. It looks like they're just like pointing you to techniques and things like that. Technique. Also features technique guides. This teaches the most important. They gave painting keywords like in 40k. That's actually smart in my opinion. It makes it a little easier to digest and read at just a glance. It says undercoat in bold, then you know what to do. So, whoops. Well, that's unfortunate. But I think that's just going to be a fact of life with these magazines. If I'm going to be showing them like this, I know if I was doing it more like that, it wouldn't be as much of a problem, but here we have just some little army showcases. We have the Space Marines, of course, fighting the Tyranids. There's our captain over there that kicked some tail last edition. And then you have a nice trio of bombards, bombast field guns. And then you've got your Sisters of Battle. One of my first armies ever, actually, was Metal Sisters, though I lost those models a long time ago, unfortunately. And then you have the AdMech, always looking very snazzy. And it looks like we're covering Vanguard Swarms, which would be, again, things like Von Ryan Leapers. This is interesting. If you look here, they're showing off, the Chimerae from the Drukhari, which is a model that isn't on sale and hasn't been for some time. But yeah, so this is covering, let me put on my fancy voice. The Tyranid swarms fight using advanced strategy and tactics before assaulting a world in force. The hive mind will dispatch stealthy packs of hunter-killers to infiltrate a planet's defenses. These Vanguard organisms will ruthlessly work to gather vital intelligence while spreading fear and disarray. The Tyranids are an incredibly flexible, that kind of ruined the whole thing, fighting force with the organisms adapted for any form of warfare. Some of the most feared and sinister Tyranid war forms are the Vanguard organisms, who are charged with vital early assaults on prey planets. Chameleonic skin, razor-sharp talons, and the terrifying singular coordination shared by all Tyranids makes these organisms the perfect scouts and assassins. Packs of gene stealers advance through rusted tunnels and forgotten sewers, gathering key information on world defenders. Meanwhile, lictors stalk in the shadows. Pouncing on key enemies, their prey suffer a fate worse than death, as lictors use their long feeder tendrils to feast on their minds of the victim. Battle plans, troop deployments, and other vital strategic information is relayed synaptically to the hive mind, allowing the Tyranids to adapt their strategy further. Even more specialized and dangerous Vanguard organisms exist. Among the most feared are the parasite of Mortrex, which infests their enemies with fast-growing broods of flesh-eating ripper swarms. Direct reference to aliens, of course. Here we have Gene Stealers, of course. These are some of the most classic 40k units there are. Ooh, just dropped a bottle of paint. Gene Stealers, painted up in some Behemoth colors, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, classic. You got your ambush tactics. You got a lictor stalking through the pipes there. And then you have sort of your main swarm. And it looks like it's sort of... So it's just telling you how Tyranids are a varied force, effectively. And they talk about how the hive fleas are, in fact, different. And then you have Termagants and Hormigons, which are your most basic, basic troopers for your Tyranids. Von Ryan's Leapers, of course, are the model of this thing. What's it called? Oh, copy, edition, installment. I can't think of the word. Anyways, what's their name? We got a 6. The Whispering Ones. Whoopsie. So the Whispering Ones is what they are. Where's my Artis Opus pen? I'm just all over the place today, aren't I? Did I seriously misplace that? Gosh gummit, hold the phone. Well, I misplaced my pen. So, the Whispering Ones. I'll remember it because I'm going to edit this video. So, Von Ryans, let's quickly cover their data sheet. Wait a minute. Was there something? No, what is this? Using naming tables. Roll 1 dice. Huh, okay. Anyways, Von Ryans. I'll use this brush near the end of its life as my pointer. Here we see 10 inches of movement, nice and fast. Toughness 5 makes them very resilient to small arms. 4+ save with a 6+ invuln means they are not the toughest to high AP weapons, but they do have a chance to deflect any attack. 3 wounds, leadership 8, and OC1 is fairly standard. Leaper's Talons are 6 attacks, hit on 3s, strength 5, AP1, and damage 1. And they can be targeted with Heroic Intervention, which allows them to jump into a combat with enemy units that charge nearby allies for free, which is very nice. And they have Fights First, which allows them to always strike first in the combat phase, Infiltrators, and Stealth. Stealth means, of course, they are -1 to hit when they're being shot at. And Infiltrators means that during deployment, they can be set up anywhere 9 inches further away from enemies, including outside your deployment zone. So here we have a naming table thing and the Tyranid units. And I do agree, naming your models and units is a great way to get attached to them, which is the greatest way to not lose motivation. We have our naming here. Would you look at that? Let's generate a name. So, name part 1 and then name part 2. So we rolled for the vertical, horizontal. So 5, 4. 5 would be the bladed hunters. Perhaps not the most inspiring name, but still, it's a nice way to get the thought juices running. Not sure what I'll use that for. Maybe my card effects that's over there. But Captain fended off, but more Tyranids are on the way. Trio is dispatched. Protect. They may be able to overwhelm. Is this going to be? Oh, we're doing the Thunderdome. Are we just going to do a fight phase every edition or every Why can't I think of the word? Every installment. Let me go grab my Von Ryans. We're back. I also found my pen. It was in my closet with my miniatures. Hold on. Let's make a quick addendum. Here we go. The Whispering Ones. Horrible handwriting aside, names jotted down. We already covered their data sheet. This is going to be a toughie for this captain to survive, I would say. So, unfortunately, I did drop one of my white dice, but we'll use them for wound counters and such. I'll put that over there. I'm going to use my purple sparkly dice for this little combat we're going to do. They do recommend rolling in batches, which is perfectly reasonable if you don't have a lot of dice, but I would recommend buying some cheap dice blocks like the one I have here, though not in this color. I swear this color's cursed. Another guy at my store has this color, and they also betray him, so avoid purple with gold sparkles. So, basically, we just have the Terminator and the Von Ryans fight. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. Let's get into it. So, of course, let's have our captain and our 3 Von Ryans pulling up on him. This is going to be very tough for this captain, I would imagine. First up, we're going to roll to see who goes first. They don't, because it just says, place your model, your dice are close at hand, how to win, rolling in batches. That's, 18 attacks. Yeah, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to roll this. So 1 to 3 again, the captain. 4 to 6 would be the Von Ryans, because I don't know why, but that's what we're going with. So the captain gets to strike first. Maybe he'll get a easy win out of this just by carving them all down right away. So the captain himself only has 6 attacks, but they are quite good attacks, which is the general rule of thumb. Strengths. So he's hitting on 2s. So everything hits, as you see. Everything is a 2 or higher. He is strength 5 versus their toughness of 5, as we see back here. If I'm not mistaken, they are toughness 5. So he will be wounding on 4s, which isn't the best, but it could be worse. So he converts 4 of them. So that's 4 saves. So every 2 failed saves will destroy a model, and they're only saving on 6s. So 1 model is destroyed because he did 4 damage. Remember, so 2 damage, 4 damage, and even though this model only has 3 wounds, wounds never spill over to other models unless otherwise stated. So this 2 attacks that were failed to save get destroyed, and then this model will be reduced to 1 wound as he took a 3 damage. He took a 2 damage hit and he has 3 wounds. So next up, it's time for the Von Ryans to fight. Now there's only 2 of them left, but that's still a lot of attacks, which could prove to overwhelm our captain here, but maybe he's just going to be the reigning champ. So, see, here we have a batch of 6 dice for our first Von Ryan, and then another batch of 6 for our second. Now we're going to roll these at all the same time, and let's see where they hit, which you can see right here. You can see on their weapon skill, which is right there, they hit on 3s, so they will be hitting on a 3 or better. Whoops. So this is a pretty good roll. These dice are actually doing me better than they do in my actual games. And then this is also strength 5, so it'll be wounding him on 4s. So we got rid of 1, 2, 3, 2, and 1. So that's 5. At which case he'll be, since these are AP1 and the Terminator is what? A 2+ save, so he will be saving on 3s, of course. So he actually does fail too, which brings him down to 4 wounds. And then we just have to roll out the next set of dice. Let's go for it. 6s hitting on 2s. Ooh, that's not very good, Capt. He only got 3. Wounding on 4s. He does wound twice. So we actually save 1, but lose 1. So we're down to 1 Von Ryan now. Not looking good for the Tyranids. Tyranids are down to 6 attacks, baby. 6 attacks. Hitting on 3s. Strength 5, so we're what? Wounding on 4s. 4, so only 1, unfortunately. A 3+ save? He doesn't save it, so he is down to 3 wounds. Uh-oh, things are getting close, but unfortunately I think it's over for our Tyranid friends. Hitting on 2s, hits everything. Wounding on 4s. So, 4 wounds. And remember, he's only saving these on a 6+. Ooh, almost. Unfortunately, these 2 fail, and the Von Ryan is defeated, which makes Captain Lucian 0 for 2. He has not been wiped out of our little... Ooh, hold on. Look at that. Oh, his sword's broken. Let me quickly fix that. Alright, I'm back. That should be the end of our little model rumbles. Our captain is going on an absolute tear. So let's see. How did he so-called win? So, battered, beaten, but unbroken, very accurate, he was almost destroyed. The captain plunges his blade into the last Von Ryan's leaper. He triggers his emergency transponder, for more Tyranids will surely be on the way, and reinforcements will be required. So, at the moment, you do get a lot of wound markers if every one of these back covers comes with them, which could be useful if you don't want to use dice. Personally, I would use dice. So, of course, our next installment will be another set of Infernus Marines, which, again, will paint up as those Silver Templars, and we're going to just keep on with that. We get some paints here. Won't be the most useful for what we're doing, but they're still very good paints, I will admit. I love McCrag Blue. It's one of my favorite colors. Yeah, would you look at that? And with that, I believe we have covered everything that came in Combat Patrol Shipment 1. Now, you can buy these individually at certain retailers, but I am simply subscribed through Hatchet Part Works. So I'm going to be getting these in batches of 4 from here on, basically, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be getting, not you, Von Ryans, yeah. We'll be getting these 2 and then 2 more as well, which I believe will be some Barb Gaunts, if I'm not mistaken, alongside it. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed watching. This is going to be, of course, a monthly series where I will get these models and I'll paint them up shortly thereafter. And we'll go through, we'll do the tutorials to help people, understand. So I know some people prefer listening to reading how rules work. And while maybe I'm not the most eloquent in the way I speak, I still hope I could help a few people get into the hobby, because I think this is a great way to get into it. You get your army in very digestible chunks that are very easy to paint. And that just about covers it. I've been Spoons Rattling. Bye-bye.